high crime level, corruption, a lack of jobs, business crisis. My dad received his salary and the next day he could only buy a pack of butter on this money. Hi everyone and greetings from Russia. My name is Natasha and you may notice I'm wearing this very cozy, very simple and a bit strange outfit today. Nothing glamorous, nothing perfect, nothing fake today. I would like to be very honest, very explicit, very real, very down to earth in this video because I would like to talk on a very sensitive topic. Firstly, I would like to show you the surroundings of the place where I am right now. This is our neighborhood. There are a lot of modern buildings and I really like this place. The weather today is not bad, about 19 degrees Celsius. Not bad for the beginning of October, actually. A lot of foreigners who watch videos on YouTube, videos that are made by Russians who live in Russia or foreigners who live in Russia, don't get why people in Russia so complain about life here, about some difficulties, about the prices, about some nuances, why Russians don't protest, why Russians seem to be very satisfied with the current reality, with the sanctions, with the current situation in general, the current politics, the current, I don't know, just in general, guys, why we are okay with all of this. To answer this question is not that actually easy, and it's not because of a lack of freedom of speech as many think, but because of all the people are very different and have very different points of view. Firstly, there are a lot of people who are completely satisfied with the current situation in Russia, the current life in Russia, but obviously there are people who aren't satisfied with it, but they got used to this situation and they decided to stay in Russia instead of moving abroad. And I would like to explain why. Okay guys, let's start with my personal story. I was born in the second part of the 90s and as a result my childhood was in the 90s and in the 2000s. The 90s was a very difficult period for all the Russian families and for my family also, because we lived in a very small apartment about 46 square meters in Nizhny Novgorod. This is a city in central Russia. We lived in this very small two-bedroom apartment. Me, my mom, my dad, my grandmother and my grandfather, also a dog and a cat. We all lived in this very small two-bedroom apartment and it was normal for that times for Russian families. I cannot say my childhood wasn't happy because I was a happy child. I love my parents, my grandparents, they are incredible people, but anyway, that time was very complicated. A high crime level, corruption, a lack of jobs, business crisis, so it's all was very complicated for all the people. In 1998, Russia also struggled the default on its debt and it was really awful. My dad received his salary and the next day he could only buy a pack of butter on this money, so nothing else. And it was really terrible. And almost all the people in Russia lost their savings. Well, to make it short, in only one decade, Russian people lost almost all. Because the collapse of the Soviet Union, the default, just crisis, corruption, criminal issues, it was just awful for us. That's why the current times seem not very bad for most of the Russians, because you can find a job, you can buy food, you have a place to live. My mom even told me once, "Why are you complaining, Natasha? Your life is almost perfect in contrast with our life with your dad, because so it was really difficult, but now you have a lot of opportunities, you have your life, you have safety in some way. Some of the foreigners don't understand me, but I try to explain you this from our perspective, because our history influences us anyway. Also, we had war conflicts in Caucasian regions, and my dad even could be mobilized, but he wasn't. For those who don't know, in the Soviet times, all the men did military training, almost all, and my dad also when he was young. Almost all the men could be mobilized in the 90s. War is war, but lunch has to be on time. Do you know this quotation, guys? It's pretty famous here. Hopefully I translated it well. I'm a bit lazy to cook today, so I took a meal from Вкусная точка, Russian McDonald's. You may tell me, Natasha, it's not a good idea to eat junk food the second time, the second video, but I just would like to eat it. To be honest, I enjoy such type of food. Sometimes it makes me happy. Let's show you the meal, guys. Well, to sum up the whole idea I described in this video, I think all is connected with local mentality and social life, and it obviously influences the full picture of living in Russia. To be honest, guys, almost all the time I remember myself, life wasn't easy, at least here, because the 90s were very difficult, so just no comments. The beginning of the 2000s wasn't very nice also, still a high level of crime. And as I remember when I watched Hollywood movies and compared lives of the teenagers from movies with my own life, I saw much difference. But now when I watch some Hollywood movies or just Western or foreign movies, I see like we live about the same, because that time the level of life in Russia was very low, in my opinion. Probably it's just in my family, but anyway, I didn't feel it because so I didn't need to work. My parents provided me with money, but anyway. Next, the crisis of 2008, and next the first sanctions against Russia. It was in 2013. I remember that ruble fell that time. For the first time, it was not very good. Also, I remember that many goods, many groceries just disappeared from the shelves at that time. For sure, with years, some of them came back with the parallel importing, but the prices were increased. I can already predict that I will receive comments like, Natasha, you are just a Kremlin agent and you always tell like everything is under control, all is good, but you just don't tell the truth. But I cannot say I don't tell the truth. I think I just explain you everything from my perspective. Of course, I think if I would tell like everything is very bad and focus only on the bad sides of Russia, I would definitely get the Western audience who, I cannot say hate Russia, but who prefer to follow the Western agenda about Russia. I mean about these stereotypes. At the same time, if I would like to get a Russian audience, mostly I would tell like Russia is a too nice place and move to Russia. So it's a perfect place for living. To be honest, I'm a kind of person who doesn't believe that something can be only good or bad. All the countries have their bad and good sides, and it's completely normal. There is nothing white or black. I think everything is gray in our life. Moreover, it seems now most of the countries on earth face some kind of a crisis, inflation, prices rising, and it's not good. But I think we all should be brave in these times and try to overcome these troubles. In almost every videos where I share the prices in Russia, I receive comments from people from different countries, and they write like they face this increasing also, and they are worrying about it. And I completely understand it, and I understand that all the people in the world face and feel the same difficulties. Yes, probably some people who are really rich, really wealthy, they just don't feel anything, but most of the people, especially poor and even middle class, feel these consequences. Finally, guys, I think it's all that I wanted to say to you in this video. Thank you for watching this video to the end. Don't forget to subscribe my Telegram channel, where I interact with my audience. Also, write in the comments which topics would you like me to share in next videos. Have a nice day, have a nice October, and God bless you.